Okay, guys, we're gonna do Origenis or Origin. It's Origen, and he's claimed to have been a Christian father. This is Antiquity Unveiled, page 89. Sir, many persons ask you this question. Why do you, and the spirits coming through this medium, keep constantly agitating the question, did Jesus Christ really live? To those who are free from this, or at least to many of them, it makes no difference. But to the millions held in slavery to this soul-killing doctrine of redemption by his blood, this question is of vital importance. Centuries of time have elapsed since I entered the spirit life. I was reared a pagan. I embraced this doctrine in my mortal life, but realized the foolishness of all its teachings before I entered the spirit life. I regret that I ever wrote one sentence toward fostering and upholding the so-called Christian religion. The misfortune has been this. The Christian priesthood have been careful to preserve everything that I wrote in favor of their religion, but they have been equally careful to destroy all my written denunciations of it, at least so far as they possibly could. I was young when I first learned of the Christianity. It appealed to my ardent nature so strongly that it subjected my reason to a passion for religion. Sorry about that. It appealed to my ardent nature so strongly that it subjected my reason to a passion for religion, and especially for that religion. But as I matured in years, I became perfectly aware of the weak points of Christianity, and the more I studied it, the weaker the fabric became, and because I became an infidel to that foolish teaching, I was accursed to be by my contemporaries of having relapsed into paganism. By the great divine, I heartily wish I had never had anything to do with it. I am called one of the Christian fathers. I deny that statement because I do not want to be understood as the father of any religion. All religions are founded upon untruths, and they must and will all go down together. I here declare that Christianity and so-called paganism are identical, for the one is the outgrowth of the other. All the evidence I could collect in my mortal life about their so-called Jesus convinced me that no such person ever lived, and turned me against the Christian religion. I could find no evidence as to the existence or place of the birth of this Christ. There is not a scrap of authentic evidence to be found as late as the year 180 of the Christian era that afforded any reliable information in relation to this so-called Jesus Christ. The whole of the narratives in relation to such a person were derived from the Greek and Egyptian god makers I believed as immortal and as a spirit I now know to be a fact. There never has been and there never will be, so far as I can learn as a spirit, any interference whatever between God and man. But men and women have been interfered with by spirits, many of them with good purposes, but legions of them the devils of the spirit life. It is these poisoned and darkened human spirits that hang like a whip of scorpions over the earth to lash mortals for the errors they have made and are still propagating. I have acquired a true knowledge of these things as a spirit. Therefore, I affirm that I have made this communication honestly and have told the truth and nothing but the truth, as I hope for eternal happiness. I was known when here as Origen, Origen, and going to refer here to Smith's Dictionary of Greek and Roman biography. We think if our readers will carefully read the account of Origen's life by the light of the foregoing communication from the spirit of that great and learned man, they cannot fail to see the vast importance of that spirit communication. It makes plain all disputed questions in relation to the views and career of Origen. The statement of Porphyry, Porphyry, that he was reared a pagan, which can be found in the account of Origen given in Smith's Dictionary of Greek and Roman Biography, is positively attested by the Spirit, and there can be no doubt of its truth. As he says, at an early age he learned of Christianity, and during his youth and earlier manhood was ardently attached to that faith. This change in religious convictions, in all probability, continued until his visit to Greece, where he attended the school of Ammonius Saccas, the follower of the founder of eclecticism, Potamon of Alexandria, after which time he no doubt adopted the teachings of Ammonius, who was himself a spiritual medium, and addressed his hearers while entranced, as do our modern mediums. From that time, no doubt, dated the alienation of Origen from the doctrines of Christianity, which were all shown to be untrue by the teachings of spirits. From that the time forward, Origen was no more a Christian than was Ammonius Saccas, although ranked among the fathers of Christianity. For the Christian Church to claim Origen as one of its greatest lights is a desperate resource. View the matter in any light we may, but such was the paucity of evidence for the first 200 years of the Christian era, that the Christian priesthood were glad to avail themselves of such writings, of the excommunicated and heretical Origen, as they could turn to their account, while all the rest of the voluminous writings of his mature life have been carefully destroyed or conveniently lost. The cat is, however, effectually let out of the bag by the spirit of Origen himself, who says he lived for many years an infidel to the Christian faith, and died so, after satisfying himself by the most thorough researches that there was no more truth in it than in paganism, both being identically the same. His positive declaration that the writings concerning Jesus Christ in his time were unauthentic and untrue ought to settle the question, especially when it is so fully borne out by all that has come down to us concerning the truly learned and steadfast Origen. That Origen did not know as much concerning the spirit life when he was on earth as we do today. His communication plainly shows. Space will not allow us to enlarge upon this subject. To do it justice would require a volume. That was Origen.